Have you ever met somebody who was like really stuck on themselves, like really, really consumed with their own appearance or with their own looks? Um, well, the scripture teaches us to really move away from that kind of thinking. Hi, my name is Christopher Thompson, and welcome to the experience where we reflect on the transformative power of the words and the work of Jesus. I'm sitting here on my thinking chair. It's the place where I do some of my best thinking. And in the book Desire of Ages, we are told that we should spend a thoughtful hour each day thinking and reflecting on the life, the death, the ministry of Jesus Christ. Whereas we don't have a whole hour here, we do think and talk and reflect on the words and the work of Jesus. Today, I want us to reflect a little bit about a text that wasn't specifically the words of Jesus, but it makes us to reflect on something Jesus said. We talked previously about the golden rule and how Jesus said to treat others the way we would like to be treated. But it's here in Philippians. It's Philippians 2 verse 3 that we see a very powerful principle here. It's based on what is known as the Christ hymn. It's from what is known as the Christ hymn. And it's powerful. It says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves." That's such a profound concept that Paul is suggesting that we be like Jesus. You know, he says that we should have the same mind of Jesus. And he's challenging us, don't do anything out of selfish ambition or conceited attitude, but with humility. And it's that last part that gets me every time I read it, to consider others as not just as good as, but better than ourselves. And I wonder how hard that is. I know it's hard for me just thinking about it. It's really difficult for me to think of others as more valuable or more responsible or more thoughtful or as more important than I am. That's really hard to do. I know it's hard for me, and so I assume that it may be hard for you just the same. You know, this idea of putting others above ourselves, I mean, he prefaces it by saying, you know, with a humble mindset, with humility, that we can put others above ourselves. But there's a challenge here that's embedded, that whenever somebody does something we don't like, we usually ascribe the worst kind of intention to it, that they are evil or that they are bad people or that they just have a filthy mind or you know they can't be helped or but we don't usually do that same thing to ourselves. If we make a mistake, oh, it's just a mistake, it's just my bad, or it's just I made a misstep. But when somebody else does something that we don't like, we consider it that the worst. We assign the worst kind of intention to it. But there's a deeper side to that. That what if we considered their beliefs to be more important than ours, or their opinions to be more important than ours? Not just them as a person, but the way they think and the way they act, their choices. You know, that every aspect of their lives could be better than us. It's hard to do. But if we did, we'd be a lot more like Jesus. Hey, listen, that's all the time we have. But please come back next week and let's spend a little bit more time thinking, reflecting, and talking about the words and work of Jesus. And remember, when you have an experience with Jesus, your life will be transformed forever.